Last week, I got to visit Mrs. Harris's fourth grade. I know there's some SMA students here tonight. Is anybody in fourth grade right now at SMA? Ooh, do you see those hands? Oh, how many of you ever had Mrs. Harris that are here tonight? Mrs. Harris's students? She's one of the best, isn't she? But so are her students. And I have to tell you, when I visited that group of 10-year-olds in the fourth grade class, I was just blown away. It's such a beautiful age, because when I walked in, it was kind of a pedagogical masterpiece. The kids were working on a Holy Week project, and the theme of the project was Holy Week is a story that was true and will always be true. And what they were doing was individual art projects while they listened to classical music and watched video of nests, birds rather, building their nests. And it was silent video with the beautiful classical accompaniment. And the kids' left and right hemispheres were working so well together you could almost hear the sizzling. It was so good. One of the things that made it so special is the kids were really, really welcoming to me. I mean, I wasn't supposed to be there that day. I just happened to be walking by on my way to another meeting, and they called me in, they shared what they were working on, and some of them started spontaneously hugging me. And I thought to myself, oh, this is such a sweet spot. A year or two later, through no fault of their own, they probably won't do that. You know, 6th graders don't do that. 7th graders don't do that. 4th graders do, though. I think a lot of us know what it's like to experience the aging process, and that's especially interesting for parents, because you watch your kids go from infants, depending on you completely, to these individuals who wow you with the way God has made them, to adolescents who, very appropriately, start to pull away. But the pulling away process is not easy. I once saw a book on parenting adolescents that was called Get Out of My Life, But First Can You Drive Me and Cheryl to the Mall? I think parents of teenagers can relate to that feeling. A woman in our parish told me a very tender story recently. She said that she was watching something on Netflix in the den, and her 11-year-old son came in. And he approached the recliner that she was in, and she thought he was going to ask her something. And all of a sudden, she realized he was getting in the recliner with her. And she said, he's like 90 pounds now. So it was a little bit awkward almost. She said, I was trying to make sure there was enough room, and I didn't want to show him that I didn't expect him to do that. And he just relaxed into my arms. And she said, it was really hard not to cry. Both because it was so sweet and unexpected, but because she thought, maybe this is the last time. This might be the last time that my 11-year-old asks mom for a cuddle. That's a feeling that a lot of us experience. They have a name for that. It's called anticipatory grief. It's when you're sad about something that hasn't happened yet, but that you can see coming down the road. It's the feeling that we have when we know that our 11-year-old in a couple of years won't want to cuddle with us anymore. And I may not have kids, but I think I taste a little bit of that every Labor Day, when suddenly I realize, I guess the swimming is just about over. And the s'mores are going to have to wait for next year. People often will say to me something that I really understand and relate to and feel myself. They'll say, Father, when is the bishop going to move you? Father, the bishop's not going to move you, is he? And boy, can I relate to that. I can relate to it because I don't want to move, and because I've moved twice before, which means I know what it feels like to move. It's very hard. And I had priests that I was very connected with when I was younger, and when they moved, boo. People I know talk about that sometimes. Maybe some people are happy. When is he moving? That could be. But I know that many people say it with deep love. And I've got to tell you that I have no plans to leave. And that the fact that the bishop asked me to have this extra job of vicar that you've heard of, that's kind of a good thing. I think that makes it a little bit more complicated to move me around. But the point remains, this won't last forever. For me, for any of us, for anything, it doesn't last forever. And so we already feel that anticipatory grief of almost being afraid to enjoy things too much. Do I enjoy my 10-year-old too much? Because is that going to make it too hard when that 10-year-old is a 17-year-old? Tonight, we are having an experience together of anticipatory grief. Tomorrow is one of the starkest days of the year for all of us. And when you come to that service tomorrow, if you've never been here before, it's going to blow you away. It is an amazing outpouring of love for God. And we're feeling that anticipatory grief tonight. Because tonight we celebrate that he was right here. He was with us. And we feel him tonight slipping through our fingers. We feel it. We know we can't keep him. We know what Good Friday is. And the problem is, the more lovable someone is, the harder it is to let them go. And he was the most lovable one ever. So the most lovable one we've ever known, slipping through our fingers, is a cause of our grief. On Saturday, we had a wedding here. That in itself is not that unusual because in this beautiful church, there's many weddings. We have weddings often throughout the year. But this wedding was special. It was between Jeannie and Russ, and they got married right on this carpet right here just a few days ago. They have known each other since they were 6 and 7 years old, which is a pretty beautiful story. But it was made even more beautiful by the fact that they are now 71 and 72. They met swimming at a public pool in Saratoga when they were little kids. And they liked each other. They noticed each other, but they went separate ways. They got married to other people. Jeannie had a big family with lots of kids. But for the past 25 years, they found their way back to each other. And it's a really beautiful love story. Russ recently got a stage 4 diagnosis. And he knew when the doctor told him that diagnosis was coming. He said he can feel his life slipping away. And that is why they're married now. Because Jeannie said, it's time for love to do the heavy lifting. I want to take care of him. I want him to know that I've got his back. She said, I want to carry his family name. I'm 71 years old and I'm going to change my name so that I can carry his name beyond his life. Can you imagine the anticipatory grief that they feel? Everybody in the church felt it. We were all aware that their marriage will be short. They have plans for a honeymoon this fall in Ireland, and they're also prepared to cancel them because they know that might not be possible. But the love that they have demanded that they lean in, even though the anticipatory grief they feel is overwhelming. Leaning in is what we're doing tonight. We're here because we love God. And it takes courage to lean in on a night like tonight. It takes courage to participate in a foot washing. It takes courage to let a story that could feel like it's got a nice distance in a storybook become something that breaks our hearts. But that's exactly what falling in love with Jesus does. And it makes Good Friday hard to bear. And he makes it harder and harder by washing our feet, by giving us the Last Supper, by doing so many excruciatingly beautiful things. If only he had been a little less beautiful, just a little less loving, a little less forgiving. If he could have been a little less generous, it wouldn't hurt so much. I once anointed a parishioner in another parish who was at the end of ALS, a disease that all of us know about and none of us want to hear about. He got it young. He was only in his 60s, and his wife was there taking care of him, and I was with him just the day before he died. It was a second marriage for them both, and so they had been through some rough things, and they finally found the one. They were with the one. And now it was very clear that after 15 years, it was about to end. And he couldn't really talk, but he intimated, "I am so sorry to be leaving you." And she said to him right in my presence, "I would rather 15 years with you than my lifetime with anyone else." And that's what we say here tonight. Jesus, you're breaking our hearts. But as hard as it is to feel you slipping through our fingers, as hard as it is to face what we did in letting you go, in treating you the way we did, we would rather feel that agony tonight than have a single day of this journey with anyone but you